Thank you. My name is Waseem Ahmad. I'm working as associate professor at the Institute of Business Management Sciences, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. Today, I'm going to talk about role of professional education on entrepreneurial intention in a developing country. Um, like the entrepreneurs are the one who are known as they are the startup planners who took chances to improve the business environment positively by consistent involvement in appraising process to accelerate profitable venture. They are the one who are providing employment opportunities for the people. Um, if you see the entrepreneurs, they are the one who are assessing the opportunity. They're checking the window of opportunity. And based on these things, they are making the decisions. They are taking initiatives. And they are taking initiative in a risky environment. And they're trying to find the solution. And it means like the entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial intentions among the people can play a significant role in a developing economy. Especially if you want to talk about the higher education sector of the developing economies, I am taking the Pakistan as a case study for the developing country. And if you see the higher education sector in Pakistan, it shows a tremendous changes in the last decade. Now the people are moving towards the education side. More people are getting education, but even then, only 8% of youth got into the college or university education, as compared to if you want to make a comparison of this higher education of the developed countries where it is more than 50%. So developing countries, they are trying to pick up the education level of the people, and this trend is picking up. But still, we are far behind the developed country. And with respect to once the people are educated, then there are chances that they may be a good entrepreneurs as well. According to Global Entrepreneurship Report about Pakistan, they said that about 27.9% of people are having the entrepreneurial intentions. But the major issue was about 54.16% are unfortunately feeling scared, or they are feeling that they may face the failure. So it is having a significant negative like the impact on the entrepreneurial spirit, because people are moving away because they are scared about failure. Now the situation has been changing as the unemployment rate is just picking up, and amongst the youth, they are concerned about the employment. And once they are not really getting anything out of the society, then they are trying to start their own enterprises. So we need to understand whether the employment initiatives, whether these entrepreneurs, are they really providing the employment initiative to the people as well? So it means for the development of a country, it would be very important that the more people are moving towards the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, to assess that, to address the gap that whether the graduate want to become an entrepreneur or they don't want to become an entrepreneur. For that purpose, our study is focusing on how the professional education of the graduates are having an impact on the entrepreneurial intention, whether the people want to become an entrepreneur or they don't want to become an entrepreneur after having a professional education. Further, we also want to examine the role of different variables, that's perceived behavior control, that's personal attitude, that's subjective norm, whether these things, these variables are having a positive or a negative impact on entrepreneurial intentions. Okay, let's look at what has happened so far. If you look for the literature, the literature shows that the personal attitude of is the intention of individual to evaluate the objects positively or negatively. So, but the prevailing, if you talk about the prevailing studies, they are saying that, like I can say that they are kind of a conclusive in nature. They are saying that the personal attitude is having a significant positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. So it plays a significant role for a person to become an entrepreneur. Then the other thing is about the subjective norms. Subjective norm is basically is a social pressure of the people that motivates you to behave in a particular manner. So subjective norm basically encourages a person to accept a suitable product at the suggestion of associates in life. But the subjective norms, the literature is kind of having a contradictory um, outcome about the subjective norms. Like some of the people, some of the literature, they are talking about subjective norms are having a significant positive impact, while some other literature, they are talking about subjective norms are having a significant negative impact. And similarly, there are some authors, they have reached to the conclusion that subjective norms are having no significant impact. Uh, okay, we then the perceived behavior control. Perceived behavior control is basically is the level at which a person feels prepared to react to the behavior. It depends on person's ability and experience. So most people decide to do practice that they believe that they have power to control. And for the perceived behavior control, as per we have discussed about personal attitude, it is having a kind of a conclusive results, and everybody is having reached to the similar conclusion that states that perceived behavior control is having a significant positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. So based on the discussion of the literature, we have developed these three hypotheses that I have mentioned as H1A, H1B, H1C. Let's look for the education. Education system of a country plays a key element in the growth of our economy. Education always remains the leading and most significant type for the people to formulate their lives. A lot of literature is there that talks about how the education is having a positive impact on entrepreneurial intentions. But unfortunately, I couldn't find an article that states that how the professional education is having an impact on entrepreneurial intention, especially if I have to consider the case of a developing country, that is Pakistan. So we are going to check this hypothesis, how the professional education is having a significant positive or negative impact on the entrepreneurial intentions. Okay, then a lot of literature talks about the education is having a positive impact on the person's attitude. It changes how the person behaves. So the literature says that that personal attitude, that professional, that the education is having significant positive impact on the personal attitude, and it is having a positive impact on subjective norms and the perceived behavior control. And we want to check that out. We want to check that out with respect to the professional education. We want to see how the professional education is having an impact on the personal attitude and how the personal attitude is having an impact on the entrepreneurial intention. So we are going to use it as a mediating variable. So mediating variable basically describes the method through which two variables interact or related with the intervening of the third variable. So we want to check that out, how the professional education and entrepreneurial intentions are mediated by personal attitude, by subjective norms, and by perceived behavior control. The other thing that we face is the impact of the family background. Like it is it is happening in the society. Like if the parents of a kid are doing a particular work, like they are running an enterprise, so there are more chances that their kids will be running an enterprise, because they are teaching them accordingly, they are helping them to make the decisions. So there are more chances if the children's having a family background, or their parents or grandparents, they are running an enterprise, so there are more chances that the kids will be doing the same. So we are going to check that out, how the family background is having an impact on the entrepreneurial intention, whether the people, they really want to become an entrepreneur. The other thing is about the gender, and whether the gender is having a positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. Some of the literature talks about the male is having a significant positive impact, while the other literature talks about the female gender is having a significant positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. And we are going to check that out, how a gender, that can be male or a female, is having a significant impact on the entrepreneurial intention in a developing country like Pakistan, how they are performing in the society. We also want to check whether the family background is having significant impact on entrepreneurial intention, and it should be mediated by the personal attitude, because it is, as in the literature, it shows that the family background develops the personal attitude, develops the subjective norm, like the social behavior of the person, develops the how he is making the decision. So we want to check like the personal attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control as a mediating variable between the family background and entrepreneurial intentions. Okay, this is the conceptual framework that I'm going to follow for this study. So you can see that the personal attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control, these are the mediating variables of the process of the professional education and the family background, and the dependent variable is the entrepreneurial intention. We have used the gender as well as an independent variable to check that out, whether this gender is having a positive or significant positive impact on entrepreneurial intention, or it is having a no impact. Let's move on. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the data set. For this study, we have collected the primary data. For that purpose, we have developed the structured questionnaire. We actually we have adopted the questionnaire from the literature, and we have added few more questions relating to the new variables that I have just mentioned, that the professional education is in there. So we have added the questions relating to professional education, and then we want to see how these things are having an impact. So we have adopted the question, and then further we have added few more variables, and we have obtained this data from one of the major administrative division of a major province, Punjab, in Pakistan. This division is the second most populous division in the province. We have selected the students or graduates from the professional universities. That includes the agricultural universities, that includes the medical schools, that includes the science and technology universities, and we have uploaded our questionnaire on the Google form, and then we have sent our Google form link to the to the students and the graduates, and then at the end of the day we have received back about the response from 426 respondents. So this is the sample size of our study. Out of this sample size, if I have to talk about the characteristics very briefly, About 36% of the respondents were male respondent and 63% respondents were the female respondents. And about 88% belong to the age between 18 to 25, because we are thinking that since in our questionnaire, it's like we have added pretty much all the age categories, but the majorly respondents belongs to 18 to 25, and this is the period once they are just graduating out of school, and we want to see whether after the graduation they want to become an entrepreneur, they will be looking for a job. So it added advantage in our data set. For the data collection instrument, we have used the Likert scale. We have used the 7-point Likert scale. We have used the partial least square approach to the structural equation modeling. And then let's look at the results that we have. We have used the composite reliability and average variance extracted to evaluate the internal consistency of the cross-loading of items. According to Hare et al. 2012, it shows that if the value of composite reliability is less than 0.6, then the item should be removed. So basically, he has defined the threshold level, that is 0.6, and you can see in our results, none of the values are below than the 0.6. And then for the average variance extracted, he has defined the threshold level, that is 0.5, that he said that the value should be higher than the 0.5, and that is what we are having over here, and all of the values of the different variables are more than the 0.5. So it means that our questions are questionnaire is good to see how these things are having an impact. Okay, let's look at the results of the partially square path analysis. So FB stands for the family background, EA stands for the entrepreneurial intentions, then PA stands for the personal attitude, PBC stands for the perceived behavior control, then we are having subjective norms, and then if you look at the results, the family background is having no significant impact in any of these, like on the entrepreneurial intention, on the personal attitude, on the perceived behavior control, on the subjective. And okay, this is kind of surprising. And then we asked the people why they don't want to become an entrepreneur if their parents are running an entrepreneur, and we have asked like kind of an open-ended questions in our questionnaires. The people whose like the people belong to the family who are the who are running an enterprise, and they were saying because of the turbulence in the economic situation, because of the that the economic situation is not that stable, so just keep like bumping around, and as a result of that they feel that it is very difficult to be profitable in such situation. So these policies are just keep on changing. And that may be the major reason that the people who have the family background, they don't want to become an entrepreneur. While on the other hand, we have seen some people who belong to the middle income or the middle income group. They are very much anxious to become an entrepreneur. So their parents were not entrepreneurs. So there are chances that that may be one of the major reasons that the family background is having no significant impact on any of them. The other thing is about the gender. Gender is having no impact, like the male or the female, that is having no impact on to become an entrepreneur. You know, like the entrepreneurs are the entrepreneur. There is nothing like male entrepreneur or female entrepreneur. So this may be the reason that there is no significant impact that only the male want to become an entrepreneur or only the female want to become an entrepreneur. So it's not like that. Then personal attitude is having a significant positive impact. Perceived behavior control is having a significant positive impact. And you can see from the static signs, and static shows that the significance at the 5% level of significance. Then the professional education is having a significant positive impact on personal attitude, on social norms, And like it means the attitude of a person, since it is having a significant positive impact on the entrepreneurial intention, so we need to build the attitude among the people. I'm going to talk about that. How are we going to do that? How we can achieve that particular objective? Let's look at the effect of the mediation. Like we have used the personal attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control as a mediation variable for the professional education and for the family background. In case of the professional education, the social norm was not significant. So maybe the society is not really helping the people to become an entrepreneur, and especially if you are um, if having a professional education and there is not really having an impact um, on the social behavior. So that is kind of astonishing, and um, how why it's not really having an impact. And if it is having an impact, then maybe it will have a positive impact or on the entrepreneurial intention. Like the education builds the attitude, it develops the attitude amongst the respondents, amongst the students or graduates, and it is having a significant impact on the entrepreneurial intentions. Uh, so let's go to the move towards the conclusion section, and conclusion states about, so professional education is having a, we have discussed the significant positive impact on the personal attitude and on the perceived behavior control. And what it is not having a significant impact on social norm, subjective norms, and like there are chances that the the professional education is not really having an impact on the society, or the people are not really getting heed out of it. Maybe it could be that the quality of education that is not really helping the society to move further. Um, for with respect to the personal attitude, it is having a significant positive impact on entrepreneurial intention. So we need to build that attitude, and how we can do that. Maybe we can share some success stories of the entrepreneurs. So maybe after understanding those success stories, there are chances people may become an entrepreneur. So we need to help the society to move further, and then we also have seen that the family background is having no impact on the entrepreneurial intention. So the major reason I have just explained you earlier, that economic turbulence is the major issue. We need to, the country like Pakistan or the any of the developing country, the major issue that they are facing is that the economic policies are not stable. So they just keep changing the economic policies, and as a result, people, the entrepreneurs, they are reluctant to do the business in um, such a risky environment, because the policies are not consistent. So the government need to take care of these policies so that they can so they can get the good enterprises in the market. So that's from my side. Thank you very much.